I saw a tweet going around saying because there's a lot of hype about EA doing the college football game. They they want a college basketball game. So people were saying if the college basketball game dropped right now, who would be on the cover? And it kind of sparked this conversation that like there's not really any stars in college basketball right now. And people were saying Caitlin Clark probably deserves to be on the cover, but I mean, I don't think basketball fans would like it. Do you think that's justifiable? Like, she is the best player in women's college, but I think hot take, she's one of the best players in college basketball in general.
Yeah, I think so. I think that she is, as of right now, the face of college basketball. I think that she's the most famous college basketball player as of right now. I think that she's the best college basketball player of right now. And I think college basketball just has a real problem because everyone who's good goes immediately to the NBA. They have a star problem. No one sits anymore for 3, 4 years and actually like carves out a name for themselves or gains national notoriety. Yeah, you can do it on the local level, but you're not having these names pop up every single week where you're like, damn, I gotta key in because so and so is playing this not ranked team. I gotta know how he's gonna do. You just don't see that as of right now. As far as Caitlin Clark, did you see the video?
Yeah, I would say before Caitlin Clark is so good that LSU put together a super team to beat her, and no one is talking about that team.
Yeah,
A regular guy who watches basketball knows who Caitlin Clark is. Can they name the girl that transferred to LSU that is there to help beat Caitlin Clark?
yeah.
Don't think so. And yeah, Caitlin Clark is so big right now. She's over here bumping into fans, and it's a news story.
Yeah, I mean, we got to stop storming the court. I mean, I know we've done it for hundreds of years,
This
but
is all the times where men storm the court, but in a women's basketball game is where we end the storming the court. Is that what you're saying? Is women can't storm courts?
this is fucking egregious. This is a national tragedy. How could a fan run onto the court and just assault Caitlin Clark like that?
The
That
men's
is
league would
ridiculous,
never do it. The men's league would never storm the court and bump into a player like that.
bro. But have you seen the alternate view where it's like from the front cam, like up? She hella flopped. She
She did
flopped
a
like a motherfucker.
she did a LeBron. She did a whoa. Yeah. Did they say? I think they tried to say she got hurt after that. She was injured.
There's no way. There's no way that she got hurt. But yeah, I mean, I think, well, one, that was like that woman who Caitlin Clark ran into was like the villain for like a full day before the alternate camera angle came out. And now it's like, all right, well, Caitlin Clark's a fucking flopper. What are we talking about here?
This article from Athlon Sports. There was initial concern that Kane Clark suffered a serious injury from the collision, possibly even a concussion, but
No.
sounds like she's going to be okay. In the post-game press conference, Kane Clark says she is okay after getting run during the court storm. So
No, not at all.
but I mean, this is what I think it's a broader discussion where these type of things that happen to regular NBA players or regular or men's college basketball players would be like big stories. And Caitlin Clark is so big that now this is a national story that these things are happening. It's not just something you saw on Twitter like scrolling. Like this is a national story.
Yeah, I mean, again, she is the biggest name in college basketball as of right now. It's her and then Bronny James.
Yeah. And like I wonder, is she gonna be big enough to put the WNBA on the map?
The WNBA just has a problem creating stars and then moving the rosters around in order to fit their oncoming rookies. It's actually pretty crazy. That's a whole nother like issue in itself. There's not enough roster spots for the young talent that you've actually built up through the game of college basketball. Instead, they go and play overseas and then make it back to the WNBA after their star has faded. it's kind of ridiculous where you should just be moving these older basketball players to make room for the people that you are just coming off of 4 years of being in the tournament, being like not household names, but being recognizable names. The WNBA just has a problem in general.
Yeah, I mean, and then the other side, the men's college basketball, Bronny James is getting covered every second. I mean, he can't take a shit without ESPN dropping what's going on with his stats. And it is a huge story. LeBron James kid, he had a heart attack. He comes back, had a couple bad games, but he's getting better. Um, the Pistons. It raises the question: are the Pistons tanking for Bronny James, or are they taking for Caitlin Clark?
No.
People are wondering. They were like, "Why are the Pistons tanking? Is it for Caitlin?" But jokes aside, what do you think about this coverage of Bronny, where he hasn't really put up the numbers in college? Like, take it with a grain of salt because he's coming off that heart attack. He hasn't put up like huge numbers to, I think, justify this amount of coverage. But because he's LeBron James' son, they're following his every movement.
Yeah, and I think we had listened to a conversation from Mostly Sports where they were talking about Bronny James, and they were like, "Hey, well, this is a high recruit. This is his freshman year. He was a McDonald's All-American, and he had a heart attack in like preseason workouts, and he's playing in the regular season. Like that would have been a big story no matter what. I think it would have been covered no matter what. I mean, because what he's doing is, I mean, he's coming from adverse conditions, so of course he would have been covered regardless. The fact that it is LeBron James Jr. obviously adds just fuel to the fire, but I think he would have been covered regardless. As far as like Bronny James, his collegiate career, I think that he should be a guy who stays for 2 or 3 years at USC, continues to get better, and I think we're going to start to see that moving forward. I mean, he's actually really good. Like, just despite being, it's just because he's LeBron James' son. No, like, he's actually a really good player, and he would have been a really good prospect regardless. I think that he's a guy who could use the 2 to 3 years to really hone in his game, find his notch, and then get drafted pretty highly, probably lottery after that third season.
Yeah, he plays great defense. He has great instincts. He can shoot. He can dunk. Like, I think he is going to be a really good player in the NBA, but not next year. I think he needs to cook in college for another year, maybe 2 years, and he's going to be really something special. And I think honestly, it would be great for college basketball. It'd be great for basketball in general that he's kind of flipping the script and staying in college for a few more years to get better and to build up that USC program. That'd be interesting to see USC actually go up into the tournament and get into that Final Four, get into a championship game.
Yeah, exactly. And just like how we were talking about, the women's college basketball has a problem transitioning stars to the WNBA. The men's league has the opposite, where they can't build stars because people are either transferring, going straight to the NBA. Like, they just can't build any true rivalries anymore. Now we have this rivalry between one woman, Caitlin Clark, and the whole LSU team. We don't have any like true rivalries besides like, oh yeah, well, we already have built up. Everyone hates Duke, like just shit like that. But like, no teams, because guys are rotating in and out all the time constantly, and we're not seeing these stars anymore that stay for 3 4 years and create a true rivalry, really hone in their game and stay at the top. And who knows, maybe with the NIL this becomes more prevalent. Like, Bronny James could make a killing just staying in college, honing his game, making NIL money, right?
Yeah, he's like him and Arch Manning.
Yeah.
He could save college sports. Not that
Yeah.
they need to be saved, but
Well, I think, like, again, there is going to be a point where it's going to be, hey, rather than, if I'm not Chet Holmgren, if I'm not Victor Wembanyama, I'm going to stay because I could really make a name for myself, one, at this town, at this school, make really good money in NIL, and then be a better prospect once I transfer over to the NBA because I have all of this behind me.
Yeah, and look at guys like who was it? Brandon Pojemski. He played
Yeah.
48 games in college. He's coming out looking really good for the Warriors. Hawkes for Miami. He played, I think, all 4 years at UCLA. I think there's a lot of benefits to being that 4 year guy. You're not gonna get looked at like a top 5, top 10 pick most of the time because they're like, well, you took 4 years to develop. You're a little bit older. But to the good organizations, they really like those guys to come in and perform immediately. And those are the guys who end up being 10, 15-year guys.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a bunch of guys in the second round. Second round, basically a throwaway now, and they probably came out early. So it's like, okay, well, why wouldn't I stay at this big school where I'm going to be the big man on campus? I'm going to be on national TV, and when the tournament comes, I'm going to be able to shine year in, year out.
I already know when tournament time comes around, the big name that's gonna be on everyone's. I mean, Bronny would be cool, but this guy, you seen the highlights of this guy, Kisei Tominaga from Nebraska,
No, I haven't.
dude, deadly 3-point shooter. He's from Japan. This guy is gonna put on in the tournament. Like, watch, he's gonna be a highlight reel.
All right, I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
I'm
I
just
haven't
gonna.
done my big college basketball ramp up yet, but I'm going to get started. Once these playoffs are over, I'm going.
I'm gonna send you a couple videos of this guy. You're gonna be on. You're gonna be on Nebraska. Uh, but moving into the NBA, just wanted to let's move to Bronny's father, LeBron James Sr.
Mr.
Uh,
James.
the Lakers, they're in the 9 spot right now. They are looking to trade for a guard. They've decided now. Well,